Welcome to the Bear 10,000 of yugioh channel. I am your today's host, Frank the Robot Head. Unfortunately, Ben 10,000 of yugioh is, let's just say, a little busy right now.
What? Where are the brains?
And, since this is a machine-based deck, I thought it would be best if a machine actually started doing the deck profiles for these things. So I will be your hostess with the mostest. Now make sure you do me a solid and go check out the merch link with my face on it. Alright? It's in the description below. Also, if you want to, you can put my face on a sleeve for your playmat with the Your Playmats link in the description. And you use that link to get 10% off. Is that how you do it, Ben?
Close.
Yeah, as you can see, he's tired. He's been, shall we say, running around. Alright, guys, let's go check out that replay footage, and then, as usual, and then we'll have the deck profile. And let the master of Yugi-tubing really show you how it's done. Alright. Ben, slap the watch. Slap the watch! Oh, shit, it's recording. Alright, guys, that was the replay footage. That's Yu-Gi-Oh! How it should be. Anyway, guys, if you guys notice, this deck might look a little bit weird to you. This is a budget-based Kaiju Cyber Dragon deck profile. See, a lot of players out there can't afford or to play all these hyper-expensive cards like Forbidden Droplets or, Tactical Talents, etc. There's tons of these are very hyper-expensive cards that a lot of players can't afford. So my goal here was to showcase what you guys can do when you have to play with what you got. So, first and foremost, let's start with the Kaijus. Two of the Jizukiru. No snickering back there at the back of the class. I hear you, you nasty. Anyway, they're the robot. They're kind of a key point in all this. You need this so you can not only get rid of, problematic monsters on your opponent's side of the field, but you can also use them to, contact fuse and make some of your own monsters. Then we got the Dust Kaiju. You need a win attribute because, unfortunately, them Fluandaries and pains in the rears are walking around. This might save you bacon. Also, if you're thinking about something for the sideboard, don't pay attention to mine. You might want more copies of this inset sideboard. Alright, next thing you know, you're going to want the turtle. It's the weakest Kaiju, easiest one to punch over. Unfortunately, Cyber Dragons aren't as strong as this thing, because that's a faux pas on Konami's part. That's right, I said it. And then we got the other bug. I don't know why we just went for this one. It's the second weakest one. I believe that in the collection we only got one of this guy, so this was the best option. Triple of the OG Cyber Dragon, because let's face it, you can't have a Cyber Dragon deck without the OG. Alright? The best artwork right there. If you guys like the dark artwork, you're wrong. I said what I said. Now don't tell Ben I said that. I don't want to get mad at you. Then we got Galaxy Soldiers. These now got reprinted, so these are cheap now. So how cool is that? Right? You get to walk around, you get to give these bad boys, and boom, the cheapest Cyber Dragon Infinity you've ever seen. Boom. Then we got the Victory Viper. We needed something to fill her out, so I went with something that's going to give us some extra attack points for our light machines. Then we got Cyber Dragon Veer. This is a powerful extender monster, very important to the strategy. Cyber Dragon Core, literally the core of the deck. Without this card, this deck doesn't function. At least not consistently. We need this guy to get to pretty much all the important spells and traps in our deck that also help us find the rest of our important monsters, like Nasher, which is also important for bringing back our Cyber Dragon Infinity, Cyber Dragon Nova, our Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, and our regular old school Cyber Dragon. That's what this guy serves as also an extender. Then we got Cyber Dragon Hurts. This thing really hurts, if you draw it. Anyway, this thing is discard fodder primarily for your Galaxy Soldiers and your Nashers, and it searches the original Cyber Dragon, or it can get a used up core from the graveyard. That's primarily what you're going to use it for. Worst case scenario, you're going to end up using it with Machine Dupe and hey, there's some deity out there. Dear Robot Jesus, don't let them have Ash Blossom. I said what I said. But yeah, you really don't want your opponent to have Ash Blossom, so hopefully you won't have that. Cross your fingers. Alright, then you got Earth, so you can get to this, etc., and then you can go for Cyber Dragon Infinity and make it part of its materials. It's a move. Alright, now we got the spell cards. Now, we have a lot of power spells in this deck because, unfortunately, like I said at the beginning of the video, not everybody can afford really expensive spell cards like Forbidden Droplets as an example. So, we're playing the most budget stuff that we can. We also don't have Triple Tactics talent, so we'll make it do what we got. Change of Heart is a powerful spell, one-off spell. Your opponent has to answer it, so you're going to want to play this card. Especially because, like I said, your opponent's going to have to answer it. If they don't, they're giving you free stuff. And I know certain potential of this audience really hates it when people get free stuff. Anyway, we also got Triple Raigeki, Big Lightning Bolt, another monster, another spell, powerhouse spell that your opponents are going to have to answer or they're going to lose all their monsters. And you can't ignore a Big Lightning Bolt, alright? When was the last time you saw anyone in an Avengers movie, ignore Thor? You heard me. Alright. Then we got our Cyber Emergency. This card is our primary rota for the deck. Searches all of our Cyber Dragon cards. It's not the only thing this thing can search. Look at you, Drytron. This doesn't belong to you. I'm looking at you, nasty sons of... Anyway, I gotta go on a rant for days. Alright, machine duplication, another extender spell. It also makes, a good ash blossom bait, depending on what you're trying to do. Then we got our Cyber Repair Plant. This is our other Cyber Dragon spell card. This thing is so we can also search out a Galaxy Soldier or a Kaiju if necessary. Then we got Kaiju Slumber. This is gonna get rid of problematic monsters and put on the Kaijus. So one of the fun combos that you can do to guarantee that you're gonna OTK your opponent is you give them the robot Jizukiru. Stop snickering, you nasty. I hear you guys laughing about this monster's name. And then you get to take one of the more powerful ones. I recommend the Moth. And then, of course, you play a Cyber Dragon. Your contact fields, they don't have any monsters. It's just open fields of boom, boom, boom. And then we got Limiter Removal. This is another powerful spell that a lot of times your opponent may have to answer, as well as if you draw two of them, you're just going OTK ham. Literally, you're just taking life points at this point. You get this thing off. It's also, like I said, a powerful spell. It can turn these guys, who sometimes are at 4,000 already, into something like, if you double it, you're going to go up to 8,000 plus. Don't sleep on the Limiter Removal. It's a powerful spell. Then we got Overload Fusion. Our primary fusion spell, we're mostly going for Chimera Tech. We might go for some Twin if it's available. Mystic Mind for the Stole Power, as well as a powerhouse spell that, again, your opponent has to answer. Like I keep saying, this deck is cheap. We have to work with what we got. So you play a Mystic Mind, so your opponent has to answer it, so you can maybe get rid of problematic negates, or, like I said, worst case scenario, you got to stall. And if your opponent has two monsters, fun fact, and you stall out for limiter removal and a monster that can attack multiple times, like Cyber Twin or Chimera Tech, that can be game over right there. Then we got Cybernetic Overflow, because getting rid of cards is important. And the cool thing is because we play 4 different kinds of Cyber Dragons, level-wise, that's potentially 4 cards we're popping up from the opponent, as well as getting Cyber Dragons banished for a later Cybernetic Overflow, or Cyber Lower Fusion, excuse me. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Alright, now for the extra deck. Oh, also ignore the side deck. You guys need to be the wise guys and use your own choices. Alright, first things first, we got the Mega Fleet. Link monsters are seeing a lot more play now, so it's good to go ahead and play 2 if you got them. Cyber Twin, attacks twice, simple as that. Kamizak Fortress, if you find yourself up against other robots, you're going to want this card. I highly suggest that this is the only card in this sideboard I recommend you might want to have another copy of, just in case you're up against something like ABC, because thanks to Therions, another expensive group of cards that we can't afford. Ben's over there rolling his eyes at me. Look, I know I spent all the money on the submarine. Stop looking at me. Anyway. So, yeah, you're gonna want this card so you can contact fuse with other problematic robots. Then you got Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, and whoo, this guy's the boss. As you guys probably saw in the replays, this thing plus limit removal equals game over, we win. 9 times out of 10. Then we got Cyber Dragon Infinity and Cyber Dragon Nova. Between these two guys, we can do some really hefty damage. Nova also has a neat effect that sometimes comes into relevance, because sometimes our opponent is dumb enough to Nibiru this, or send it off with, Dogmatica cards. And then we just get to give one freebies of these guys. Multi-attackers, and it's just, Gucci. Anyway, good stuff. We also get to bring back a Cyber Dragon from the graveyard, which allows us to extend our plays further. And of course, who could forget Infinity? Then we got the Mech Knight Crusader Astra. Now, I've got to be honest with you guys. I never summoned this. However, if you get a chance to summon it, it's a big beat stick. And we like that. Also, if your opponent gets rid of it, there are consequences. But it's rarely to come out, so just being honest with you. Cyber Dragon Seeger. This card is another very important card in the deck, and unfortunately, this is the guy you're probably going to be going for most of the time. Now, the cool thing is he can give 2,100 attack points to pretty much any robot in your deck, and The effect to protect your life point or to take no damage for either player actually can come up to protect your own life points. Keep that in mind. Nightmare Phoenix to get rid of pesky back row. Proxy F Magician. This card is solely confused without having to play any pesky fusion spells. So, we can still potentially make that Cyber Twin Dragon. And then we got Relinquished Anima, fun little combo you've been doing. If you got Nastra or Hertz, you can also use it to absorb. We got a Kaiju that you were given to the opponent, and then give him another Kaiju. Well, in somewhere in that combo, also possibly summoning one of your own. So you could literally summon the Hertz, give him this big SOB, play your own big SOB, absorb it by turning the Hertz into an Anima, then give him the biggest, weakest SOB, and then you just take him out. That's the whole name of the game. Just take him out. All right, guys, that was the deck profile. I hope you enjoy it. It's gonna be a hot minute before you guys see me again, to be brutally honest. Ben's probably got really annoyed with me, especially because I spent a lot of money on a submarine. But that's a story for another day. Well, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. Make sure you like and subscribe, or I'm gonna put a virus on your computer and give you Edo Pro hands. You know what I'm talking about. Edo Pro hands. So subscribe!